Hey Grandpa, I just wanted to know, if you've ever served with the Skyray, because I know it's served around your time, and I think it ended its service life around your time. But this is one of my favorite aircraft of all time, simply because it looks like a manta ray, but also because it can carry missiles and has 4 guns. And it looks, like, so strange and cool. Just wanted to know about. And also, I wanted to know if you served with the F-2H Banshee as well. This is the F-2H-4, and these are the ones that served up until the late 60s. So I wouldn't know if you served with these things, but I'd really like to know. Because this is another one of my favorite aircraft. Like the Skyray and the Banshee, some of my favorite aircraft ever. And I wanted to know if you served with them and what you think of them, or what you've heard. Yeah, but that's about it for these two. I know that there weren't really MiG-15s in Vietnam. I can't tell if this is a 15 or a 17, but I'd like to know if you ever seen one, encountered, or heard stories of any of them. Mostly due to the fact that I haven't really heard any of those stories, and I really just want to know, were you scared of them? Like, what have you heard about them? Have any other people that you know, fought against them, or even looked at them, or got a chance to see one? I really just want to know that, but I know it's a dicey question, so you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Hi, Grandpa. I have another question about the F-7U. I've heard you talk to me about it before we were on the Midway once, but I have some more questions. Did you serve with it, or, just, what was its real reputation? Because I heard you mention it in passing once. I know it wasn't really great, but I want to know if you have any other things to say about it. About its design, about what it does, or you think if it could have been successful. That's what I really want to know, is if you think these things could have been successful, if they could have served their country a little bit longer. And then here's another aircraft that I'd like to know about, the FJ4 Fury. It's the F-86 in the water, but has 20 millimeters. To know about it as well, since apparently it wasn't that great, but I'd like to hear your opinion on it. Hey Grandpa, I know you probably most certainly served with this thing, because I think this thing served a little bit in Vietnam, though my knowledge is very rusty, since I've been focusing on Air Force planes a lot of the time. But I wanted to know what you think of the F-3H-2, of the Demon that eventually became the Phantom. This is its predecessor. It's a single engine, but then they tried making a super Demon, or whatever, and yeah, it became the Phantom. So yeah, this is the predecessor to that. And then here is another predecessor, an airplane that shot itself down, ironically enough, the F-11 Tiger Cat. They tried making a Super Tiger Cat, which I think served a little while longer. I'm not sure if this thing served for a while, but I know you've probably heard stories or seen a couple of these things in person before. At least I'm guessing. But yeah, that's really more questions about just if they could have served a little longer, what would have you done to make them better? Hey Grandpa, I just wanted to ask you about the A7 Corsair, since I know that you served with that. I want to know what you thought of it, and how it performed, or how you think it performed, and if you thought it could stay around a little longer, as well as if you made it, what would you do with it? Anyways, I'd like to ask the same question about the Harrier, since I think you might have served alongside of it, because the Harrier's not a young jet by any meaning. Hey Grandpa, just wanted to know what plane this is, because this has genuinely stumped me. I don't know much about propeller aircraft, and this looks like a propeller aircraft. So, I wouldn't know. And I'm sorry if I would be a big disappointment for not knowing this, or if it's just a jet aircraft. So, I'd like your expertise on this one. There's just a full walk around so you can get the angles and stuff. A last gunfighter, eh? Yeah, that would be cool and all, but where are the guns? I only see cameras. Let me flash it here, it'd be like a photography. When they say smile, would they die of embarrassment? The paparazzi get them? Is that how this thing gets its kills? All jokes aside, I think recon is very important to the military actions. I appreciate that they turned such a fast and agile fighter into a pretty good recon platform. And I think it'd be pretty good. I wouldn't know myself. That's why I want to ask you a little bit of the questions. Do you think this is a good fighter? Or do you think it'd be better off as a recon? Or do you think it's just a piece of garbage that belongs in the history books as another failure? Whoa. You can hear the jets overhead, and I just stumbled across an F-14. And it was an F-14 that looks very cool. It's one of the ones with a few good liveries. Just kidding, all the F-14s look pretty. They could have looked prettier. I want to know what you think of the F-14. Was it a waste of time, a waste of space, a mechanically overcomplicated Wunderwaffe that belongs in a failed history museum? Or was it one of America's best fighters, and was it a grave mistake to get it rid of it out of service? I'll ask that question. There's another F-18 next to it, the thing that replaced it, and another F-14. In all seriousness, Graham, here's the aircraft you wanted to see. Oh, by the way, the Blue Angels are doing a show outside, and I'm just taking advantage of the fact that everyone's out there looking for them, and I'm in here. Look at what I wanted to hear. Here's the turtle. About it. There's this very nice aircraft. There's a tail gun too. No, this is for you, Seamus. Or Graham. Whoops. Oh. Hey there, Grandpa. I wanted to ask, what did you think of this beautiful aircraft, the Corsair 2? The thing that replaced the... Oh wait, it didn't replace the Corsair 1. Yeah, no, what do you think of this thing? I know it's pretty decent. From what I've heard, it's a great aircraft. Shame it's out of service, but what do you think? Because I know this is not the one that you served with, but I wonder, what's it like to serve with these guys? And do they have any cool stories? I don't know why I like this aircraft. I have no reason to like this aircraft, but I love it all the same. The EA-6B Prowler is one of my favorite aircraft ever. It's an electronic warfare attack version, electronic attack version of the A-6, which is right over there, which is a superior airplane because it can destroy entire ships with a singular missile. And it does. And it's also dropped bombs down, I think Iranian ship smokestacks. But I don't know why I like this flying minivan. I don't know why I love it so much. Probably because it destroys SAM sites, and those are the bane of my existence in every single last video game I play, and every time I try and write about aircraft, because some of my friends are like, oh, but SAM sites. I have no reason to like this whatsoever, but I love it with all of my heart. I think it's one of the best aircraft ever. Alright, now here's an aircraft more your speed. It's the A-6 Intruder. I knew it served with you in Vietnam. I want to know if these guys have some pretty cool stories, or if they were just bluffing, or if this aircraft was just bad, or was it good, what people thought of it. If it really was all it lived up to be, too. But most of these aircraft that I see here, I see with only positive lights only. I don't see any of the negatives. And I'd like to know if my positive beliefs are just naivety, or if they actually are founded. That's what I'm mostly here to ask about. Here's another aircraft that I shouldn't like. This thing can probably carry like 6 people in it. It can carry troops, it can carry bombs, it can carry everything. It's an electronic warfare variant of the A-1. I shouldn't like this, because It's silly, it's stupid. But again, it's an electronic warfare aircraft that gets rid of all the nasty SAM sites that I don't want to deal with. I mean, video game wise, but also in real life, if I was a pilot, I'd appreciate this thing. And also, I mean, come on, it's just like it's another flying minivan. Sorry, my camera keeps dropping, is that my arms are a little weak. So I'm holding this phone up for a while, taking a lot of pictures. Dana, what do you think of that? The F4 Phantom II. This aircraft is very funny. I heard you have some stories with it, and I'd like to know what you think of it. So do you know how cool it is, or if it was bad at all? I want to know everything. Mostly about the positive, since I like to keep it optimistic. And also, sometimes it's better not to remember the bad things. I don't know. I just like hearing the good stuff about all American aircraft. I think every aircraft in its own right is beautiful and special and amazing. But then again, that just might be my naivety. So I wouldn't know. I think it's one of the best aircraft ever. And yeah. There it is. The Aviate, I think A or C Harrier. It was an aircraft used by Marines later on, but I'd just like to hear what you would think of it and any stories that you would have heard about it. I think it's a pretty neat aircraft. I think it's another one of the great aircraft out there. It's a British-made aircraft put into American hands, and it did a lot of damage. But I'm not too sure. I'd like to hear what you like to think of it, if it had any flaws or any glaring, really good things about it. I also want to hear the good still. But, yeah. Hello again, Grandpa. I know you probably didn't serve with the F-18, and it's very, very new. I think my dad also left before the F-18 was a thing. But I'd like to know what you think about it, and, I have nothing good to say about this aircraft. It's personal bias against it since it got rid of the F-14, I'm going to be completely honest. But I still think it might have some positive things about it, and I'm not too sure. I'd like to hear your word or a piece on it. I'd like to hear everything bad about it. Nothing good. I'm kidding. But no, I do actually genuinely want to hear everything about all these aircraft. Oh boy, can you guess what aircraft that is? It's the MiG-21, one of the most mass-produced third-gen fighter jets ever. Still into with many militaries today. I'd like to know if you have any stories about it from Vietnam. Though I know this is not one from Vietnam, I'd just like to hear if you had any stories about it. This is one from, I don't know, I think Iran or Iraq. No, it's Iraq. It was Iraq. You can tell because of the red, white, and black colors. But, yeah. This thing is it's an anti-fighter jet, and I heard it was quite a pain to deal with. I also heard that it was one of the most, I guess, deadly Soviet aircraft. Well, deadly to its pilots, too. The Kyrian Gudovich MiG-21. This is a two-seater version. I wonder if you had to deal with any of these. You've seen any of these in person, you see them fly, you see them fight. You kind of want to know about it. Because I want to know about some of the people who actually had to deal with these things, since most of the stuff I have for these aircraft sings them in positive light, or actually mostly negative light, really. Hey, Grandpa. I found another MiG-21, and again, it's a double-seater one this time. I think I have a fun fact about the cockpit, but they painted it blue so they could calm the pilots, but if I was in the MiG-21, I would be not calm, because I'd be a commie, and I wouldn't really appreciate that. All jokes aside, I think MiGs are some of the most interesting Soviet aircraft ever. Mostly because I have a personal bias towards some of their later models, because, you know, they look like discount F-15s, or actually the F-15 was inspired by them, but c'est la vie. Just wanted to know more about these things, because I know you had to deal with them. Again, I know nothing. Most of the stuff I hear about all these aircraft is only negative, which is why I'm asking for the positive stuff. They say everything is bad. Even that. Helicopters aren't exactly my forte, but I do want to know if you have any opinions on this thing. It was a lifesaver, oh, that's the Super Cobra. Well, the original Cobra. I know the original Cobra did a lot, Vietnam. I think it started off there. That one has 4 air-to-ground missiles, big cannon, Again, I'd love to know more about the helicopters and all that other stuff. All the fighter jets. And I want to hear positive things because I've only heard all the negatives. Because everyone likes to focus on the negativity. Oh, there's another aircraft, the one that broke a record. This one's a P-2. What do you think of the P-2, actually? You know, people tend to forget how big airplanes can really get. I mean, look at this. This is a light fighter. It's supposed to be small, tiny, and nimble. No, it's massive compared to what people think they are. And that's a tiny little itty-bitty missile that's so small, but it's like 9 feet long, like 6 feet long. I don't know, it's very tall. And it's just so bizarre to realize that, hey, a sense of scale really just doesn't show with these things, huh? And then there's like an E-2. Oh, it's supposed to be like a very small AWACS aircraft. Oh, look at that. It's very small. Very small. No, they're not small. They're massive. They're beasts of machines. And I wouldn't have it any other way. The E-2. The eyes in the sky. I think this aircraft is very neat, and I think it deserves a place in the United States military. It's still in service. I wonder if you think, what you think, and if you've served with any of these things. Quite frankly, I don't know much about propeller aircraft, so I'd like to know more. I know. I'm a bad grandson. Betrayed my own grandfather, not paying attention to propellers. The Seahawk. Again, helicopter's not my forte, so I don't really know much about this, but I know the Seahawk is a very, very impressive aircraft. It has missiles, door gunners, can carry things, can not carry things, can just look at things, as well as have radar on it and everything else. Helicopter's not my forte. I'd like to know more. Ah, yes. The P-2. The precursor to the P-3. I'd like to know more about this thing, because I think you might have seen it a couple times, since I'm pretty sure it served alongside the P-3 for a small amount of time. I'd like to know what you think of the precursor, the thing that came before. Were they good, bad? How are the pilots? And generally, what was the general opinion on this thing? And how did people react to just what it did? And did you see any? It's a small little kitty cat. Oh, it's just a tiny little kitty cat. That named aged poorly. There you go. There they go. There's another guy over there in the corner. There's one right there, too. Oh, there he is. And he's lagging behind. Like, hey guys, wait up for me. Whoa! Whoa! Did you catch that? Yeah, I did. Yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of videos going, holy crap. The camera's not picking up anything. Yeah, it's just audio going, crap. Pet the kitty cat again. Yo, dog, this cat's a little funny. Hey, Grandpa. I'm on the USS Alabama, and I'd like to ask you about the MiG-17s. You seen any in action? Have you worried about them? It's mostly questions that just... What have you heard about them? What do you know about them? What do you think of them? Now, I don't know about you, but this doesn't seem American. The progenitor to all thuds lies in front of me. It is in a state of disrepair. This saddens me. But the legacy it left behind of making the most stupid aircraft ever is awe-inspiring. It makes me want to design my own stupid aircraft that goes insanely fast and then gets shot down a lot due to doctrine errors and all that other stuff. But I think it's one of the best stupid aircraft in the world. Hi there, Grandpa. Just wanted to ask if you've seen with any B-52s, what you know about them, what you think of them. That's really all I want to know.
I guess you could call me a history buff.